We are live for Double Axis podcast number 17. This is the Marcus Higgins edition. But as always, we start by asking everybody how their week was. So, David, how was your week, sir?
It was great. How was your week?
It was not great. It was a little up and down. Let's call it up and down. A lot of computer problems at work. You know how that goes with the technology. But did find out that I was getting a tax reform bonus this week. So that was a pretty pleasant surprise. In addition to the bonus that I already get, which isn't that great because business isn't that good this year. But that's beside the point. Yeah. So Michael, I'm pleased to see you tonight. This is MC Hammer Day for Michael. That's an inside joke. Not many people are going to get it.
Can't touch this week.
But how was your week, sir?
It started off horrible. Had a family member total his truck by hitting a tree.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Forgot
goodness.
about that.
Luckily, walked away with no broken bones, no fractures, no nothing, just some separated cartilage.
Right. He's blessed.
Yeah, that's how my week started.
Right.
And it might end in a similar.
He'll just be driving the truck this time. Well, you, man of the hour, how was your week?
It was decent, I'll say.
Decent?
Not too bad. Just still trying to get into this mindset of thinking for 3 generations ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. I'm trying to actually wearing this bracelet my daughter made for me. It's called it says patience. I have very little, so I'm trying to learn that as a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard, you know, because I've always been rush, but I'm trying to sit back so my ideas can actually come to me. You know, now that I'm a private contractor, it's much different than.
I feel like our generation hit that patience wall a lot later than past generations because, you know, obviously we live so much longer now than former generations. We had a conversation with Mike about that earlier this year, actually. But, you know, we kind of take everything a little bit more for granted. You know, back in the day, what they had 40, 50 years if they were lucky, you know.
Right.
And so they knew how to get into maturity a lot sooner. But we kind of pushed that off in our generation. But because I feel a lot of times I feel the same way, and I think a lot of people will probably be able to relate to that. You know, kind of hitting, you know, thinking about the future, not just about ourselves, and having patience, and because it takes a long time to build something that's worthwhile.
Right.
So, why don't you do a little bit of introduction here before we kind of get into everything? So, you know, obviously we're having you on here. You're trying to branch out into a little bit of personal training.
Yes, sir.
And so, just give everybody a little bit of background about yourself.
All right. I'm Marcus Higgins, and first off, I'd like to say I'm not necessarily a personal trainer. I want to be called a life coach. I think the difference between us is that a personal trainer just wants you to be whatever they want you to be. You know, you're going to give them what you want, yet they're going to make you one of them. And that's just like a cookie cutter person. You know, everybody has their own, each and own emotional regard. So I have to worry about that. And that's, you know, a part of my job.
That's
I
awesome.
don't want to just give you what everybody else is giving these people. They're selling you fake stuff. I'm not quite yet certified, but I'm working on that. And I had no excuses. I had a 9-to-5 that prevented me from doing a lot of things, and a mindset that prevented me from doing a lot of things. So now that I've changed both of those, it's time to work, and I'm here for you.
That's awesome. So, you know, before we kind of dive into your business ventures, you know, I just thought it'd be kind of cool because I don't know a lot of this stuff personally, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about, you know, what led you to this. So obviously you've become very passionate about physical fitness, and you've even competed. So I guess when did all that start clicking for you? You know, because we went to high school together, but everybody loses touch unless you hang out every week. So, you know, when did that really change? What age did you start getting into physical fitness, and what led to the competition? And, you know, talk a little bit about your competition days.
Well, I'll say this. I've always been athletic. My father was a drill sergeant. Most of y'all know him who know me because he was your coach at some point.
Yeah, he was my coach
I'm
at some
positive,
point.
you know, or my grandfather, one of the two. But needless to say, I've been an athlete all my life. But I'm gonna get a little deep for a second. My father decided that the family thing wasn't, I guess, his thing, so he decided to shake out when I was younger. So I actually started hating sports because my dad was the one who made me like play baseball, football, soccer, hockey, tennis. I mean, we played
What
anything
age? What
and
age was
everything.
this?
I started at 4, 5, 4 playing
Yeah.
basketball.
And what age were you when your dad left?
About 9, 10. And I'm not trying to put him on blast because I love
No,
him to death.
right.
It's
It's all part of our story.
yeah, right. It's just a part of
what makes us.
what happened.
Yeah.
And I want to be real because there's so much fake stuff in the world today. I just want y'all to know, like, this is where I come from. This is where I stand with my reasoning behind why I do what I do. But so I took on martial arts after that.
Yeah.
I stuck to my mom and her side of the family for a really long time, and they taught me martial arts. So
Right.
that's another form of athleticism.
For sure.
And it really, spiked my interest through high school. I started lifting. I was in the marching band, and I had Coach Columbia always ask me, why don't you, join the football team?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm a winner.
Oh
loser.
God, that's hilarious.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
I got
literally.
that. I got that speech too.
Literally.
Killing. Saw you on the basketball court running them fast breaks. You want to come and play wide receiver for me? I was like, look at me, sir. You get broken in half. Come
Right.
on.
Like, what you doing to me, man? Like, I mean, he would catch me down in the weight room by myself lifting, and I would just be mesmerized when he started lifting because he was a very strong man.
Oh,
but,
for sure. He was very athletic.
Yeah, he always asked me though, Mr. Higgins, what are you doing?
That's hilarious because everybody
just lifting, boss.
that knows about that would be like, oh man, that's just so true. Mike probably heard it more than he's proud of.
but two, with what you say?
He drooled when he met me.
Oh my god!
I moved down here in the middle of high school.
I
He said,
remember.
Wait. You're coming here. You're playing football here. You're not going anywhere else. You're coming here, right?
Yeah, I can only imagine because I remember when we saw you coming, I was like, all right, we about to win some games. We about to
Boy,
win.
were we wrong? Am I right?
I'm just an offensive lineman, guys. There's only so much I can do.
I could have been a Jerome Bettis, you know what I mean?
Could've played defense.
I didn't like, no.
Hey, we
Could've
could've
been
been points
JJ
on the
Watt.
board, though. You know what I'm saying? Points on the board is what GRC needs was always needed.
Since what, 93?
Was it 91? Yeah, it was even
It's
farther
even
back.
worse.
Yeah, right. Because I think my uncles were part of that team. One of my uncles. Anyway, like what he was saying too, I have competed. And I'll say this with the whole competition thing. I'm not saying that I won't help somebody become a bodybuilder, but like I just want you to know that I'm a body sculptor. I feel like there's difference. I don't have as much mass. I'm not trying to put on as much mass because I know it hurts my joints later on in life. I feel like running with my daughter's kids and possibly their kids. I want that freedom for my life anyway. So when I got fit and started looking better, I got to my most weight, which was 180 pounds. I've never been anything over 155, really. But I got to 180 pounds at the end of high school, and it just sparked my interest to want to cut it out and see what I'd look like with super low percentage of body fat.
Nothing really in particular that you can think of that kind of spiked that change, because obviously there's a difference between going and working out and then wanting to do the competition side, which is obviously much more strenuous nutrition, much more strenuous regimen. I mean, people don't realize that they think, I'll go ahead and drop the word here now, but when they see bodybuilder, they see physical competitor, whether it be classic physique or what do they call it? It's not
regular physique, classic physique, and bodybuilding for guys.
So when they see that, everybody thinks, oh, those guys just take steroids and that's how they look, which, we know is obviously not the case, because if that was true, there would be lots of guys that just took steroids and looked like Arnold. But, it's a very strenuous regimen as far as nutrition, getting your sleep, making sure you get your workouts in. So was there a particular moment that you can think of, okay, this is from want to go and work out to I want to compete?
Well, I'll tell you this. One of my cousins was, or actually she is, her name is Gwen Malone. Shout out to Gwen. I love you. She's on Instagram at Mother of Fitness. I mean, she's
That's
powerful.
a sweet tag.
Yeah, she is big time. Like
Right.
I don't know if she. I swear she got her pro card, but like I know she rubs elbows with the greats, you know, and she's huge herself. She rubs elbows with Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Phil Heath. I mean, people I would just freaking.
Yeah.
What is going on? You're around me.
If I met Arnold, I would probably drop dead.
Right. I mean, I
Straight
don't idolize. I idolize God and only God. But there are some famous people that I would not mind meeting and might trip out. If
Right.
you can see that. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I get what you're saying.
I get a little starstruck sometimes. I met Denzel Washington. I couldn't say nothing.
I can completely relate. I've met fighters before, and I was like,
Dude, funny thing. I'm sorry. I know we're gonna get back to this. Like I'm crazy. I'm just sporadic.
That's part of the conversation. That's what I enjoy.
We went down to my friend's fight, and he had happened to lose that fight, unfortunately. But OSP something.
Vince St. Preux.
Vince, yeah, St. Preux. Great fighter. Had no clue who this guy was. You know, the wife and I were like, just kind of bummed out that my friend just lost, and we're sitting up front. You know, we're like, yeah. And then this guy comes in the ring. Everybody's like, ah! You know, screaming and stuff, and we're just looking at each other like, I don't even know this guy is. Like, it doesn't matter, right? So we go to backstage. You know, my friend's real mad. He's throwing chairs and stuff. I'm like, man, calm down, man. Like, I definitely understand. I'm a sore loser. Trust me. But just calm down. Let's not have to pay for this damage. You know. Plus, we're in Tennessee. But like the thing about it is, this guy comes backstage, and he literally just walks up to me and was like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" "Hey, man, how you doing?" Boom. "What's your name?" "Marcus." "What's your name?" "Oh, blah blah." I know. He said, "What's your name?" And I said, "I know who you are." I didn't, but I knew he was famous, so I tried to play it off like, "I know who you are. I know all about you, bruh. Yeah, I seen them fights. They was good." You know. But like, nah, on the realest, you know, he was a real down to earth dude. And at the end of it, he told us, he was like, "Man, I'm so glad y'all wasn't like jock riding like the rest of them cats." And he's like, I couldn't move, you know, in that room. But when he came back to us, he walked to us,
Yeah.
and was trying to get away from that,
Yeah,
you know. So
sure.
I thought it was pretty cool. Like, you know, I got that vibe. I try to, you know, bring that to my clientele as well. And I don't call you clients. I like to call people athletes, because they're a person. You know, I don't want you to feel like a prisoner or just a number in a system. You're not just a paycheck to me. Since you give me a paycheck, what I will say is, I will make your life worth it. If that can
Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, you know. But once again, my cousin, she's a competitor, and she just kept trying to boost me all the time. She's like, "You look good, cuz. You look good. You need to try it out." You know, when I was younger, honestly, I had 17 when I was 180 pounds. I had about, it's like 18.5-inch arms. Like they were big, but then I realized that life calls for more than just ego lifting. You know,
Right.
And that's what I call it. A lot of younger guys, they just want to be bigger than the next guy. But you got to realize, you are you. You're not Josh. You're not Andrew. You're not Malik. You're not Kyle. You are you. So be you.
Yeah.
I think
Understood.
Mike shed some tears. Good.
So, you know, so basically what you're saying is, and I think it rings true for a lot of people, you know, sometimes we just need a little bit of positive reinforcement. So your cousin was basically providing that for you, and kind of boosted you into wanting to change up everything and not just ego lift, like you said. So at that point in time, I assume that you transitioned to more of like sculpting your body
More
as
or
opposed to putting on a lot of mass.
Yes, sir.
So how long was the how long did it take before when you stopped, kind of like you said, as ego lifting into getting your body competition ready? I mean, I assume that it probably took several years to
Yes.
transition to that.
I'll say it took a good solid 7 years. I'll say 10 for real. I've been lifting and sculpting and wondering what I wanted to do, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I have ADHD. I know I do. I have not been diagnosed by a doctor. I just watched all my friends who were, and I figured, all the categories. They got ADHD, they
Right.
got ADD. These people got this. I matched up with these guys, so that's what I called myself. But no, I've changed my mind many times. I like extreme calisthenics, which I don't really would recommend upon just the regular Joe. I
Right.
don't. But I like it. So like human flags and some Bruce Lee dragonflies, stuff like that. Frank Madrano, shout out to him because he's really good at that. And Calisthenic Kings. But they inspire me because they're doing all this crazy things with their body.
Right.
And that shows me that they build their body with a foundation, which comes to my next point. That's my fitness page. My company's name is Functional Foundation Fitness, because I want you to build a foundation. If you build your house on leaves, dirt, mulch, gravel, it's gonna crumble, guys. The weight of the house will not hold for long. So the weight of your body will not hold. I am a trainer that will get down to the bone, is where your muscles are attached. So let's reach that point and build you a solid body foundation. It is your temple. You should definitely take care of it. But yeah, like I said, it took me a good solid 10 years to just adapt through different training styles. And I've come to conclusion, strength training, calisthenics training, speed training, all of these things above, you need to do.
Right.
Because we're human. We need to become more functional like a human.
Right.
So, people, they're so biased against it because, they, like strong men, of course, they're just going to power lift. The, athletes are going to they're going to power lift some, but then they're going to do a lot of explosive and speed training, but at the same time, it's a combination of something.
Right.
And so we definitely need that as humans to become more functional.
Right. I agree with that, and I think that it's also important to prevent your body from becoming kind of used to everything, because I know that's something that I've never been like a huge power lifter or anything. Obviously, looking at me, I mean, the most I've ever weighed is like 186 pounds, but you have to find almost what the combination that unlocks the potential within your own body, because what works for you, what works for me, what works for Big Mike, it's all going to be different programs.
Right.
And really adapting yourself to that and putting a little bit of change up, I think, prevents you from just becoming like you get in like a rut, like where you can't even hit any advances. And so
Right.
That's something that I've had to change up, because I was doing the same thing for years and years, and I've had to switch it up. So kind of jumping back into your competition days, what class did you compete in? Was it like the is it swimsuit? Is that what they call it?
No, physique.
Physique.
Yeah,
So that's swimsuits, chicks.
Yeah. No, not me. I identify as a male. Sorry.
So my bad on that. I didn't know what the classification was. So physique, which is you guys wear like board shorts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you compete for a long time, or did you just
actually I just competed once so far.
So just kind of a personal goal for you to knock out that one time?
No. Actually, yes and no. So let me explain that.
Okay.
Once I started looking that good and feeling like I looked that good, like mentally, because I was the chunky one in my family my whole life, and they made it animate that I was, so it kind of shaped my mind different. I still see that little chubby boy, even though I'm staring at an 8-pack. I still see that chubby boy in the mirror.
Right.
He's never gonna leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I try to it motivates me to stay
Right.
the way I am, or advance. but yeah, once I did the competition, it was April 2nd, down here in Winchester at the GRC. It was Josh Miller's show. Shout out to him. Great competitor himself, athlete.
For sure.
Mr. Olympia, or I swear he was Mr. Olympia or runner-up Mr. Olympia 2 times. Monster. He looks amazing. Like, I was starstruck when I met him, for real.
Yeah.
Like, and talked to him a couple times and stuff. It was just crazy. Anyway, but like, once I did that and saw that nutrition is almost literally 90%
Yeah, for sure.
of exercise science, then I figured that.
You can.
All right, I'll shut it off.
I need a water break anyway.
Hey, I'm podcasting. In number 303. Yeah.
Well, that's the first for the podcast. At least we have that. We have that knocked out.
And it wasn't me.
It wasn't Mike. That's so true.
Let me just turn this on.
But David's been all the other first.
That was my wife. Thank God it wasn't on silent.
No, it's not true. That was first F-bomb.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have all the bad firsts.
Yeah.
I just brought
some
up
good ones.
someone's man that wasn't supposed to be brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it was one film nightmare.
All right, no.
So you're completely right. Nutrition is. To me, that's the hardest part for me.
Well,
personally.
it's the hardest part for people only because they don't have the motivation to do it, and that is my job.
Right.
You know, I want to explain everything, but people, especially here in America, don't want to hear necessarily the complete truth.
Yeah.
They want to hear 5-minute abs.
Yeah.
Seriously? If that could happen, then we would all have abs.
Who's
you know
who's
what
at
I'm
fault
saying?
for that? Is it the Tybo phase?
No, because Tabo is real.
Okay.
Like, you need to do it in order for it to be real, though, you know.
So Beachbody's the one to
that's-
blame, is what you're saying.
Well, we have a culture of instant gratification.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
right. That you're completely correct. People think that because I ate salad today, I need 3 scoops of ice cream.
Yeah.
You need a reward. Okay, your reward is this patience. That's your reward. I'm telling you, if you have an ounce of this, which I've barely obtained, it's worth it. I'm not as big as I want to be. I'm not as cut as I want to be. I'm not as far along in my training as I want to be. I'm not as far along as my knowledge I want to be. But there's time to grow. There's room to grow. So I'm doing that, and I suggest anyone and everyone jump on, because like I'm the type of trainer that knows that exercise science is not a secret. Nutrition is not necessarily a secret. Okay, yes, you're gonna pay for nutrition, but it's not the secret. The secret is out. I want you to know this. I want you to know everything I know, so you can retain it for yourself,
Right.
or even share it with your family. You know,
For sure.
the more the merrier. Help one, save one.
So, what was your experience with the actual competition part of it? Because you have all this build up, and then you've got the actual in the moment kind of thing, and that's something that's kind of completely alien to me, because you're just kind of up on stage by yourself. So, did you have to like cut a lot of weight for it, or were you right on target? You know, those things are the questions that I have in my mind, because obviously I assume that it's somewhat like bodybuilding, where you want to be as dry and hard as possible, and then to get on stage and you're out there in front of everybody, you gotta. I assume that you probably had to do some type of tan routine to make sure that your striations and everything looked on point. So, talk about that. You know, I think that's a very interesting perspective to me, because I've never really heard anybody lay it out. You know, obviously that I'm familiar with. It's always like completely alien, somebody else on TV talking about it. So,
Right.
What was that like for you? What was a personal experience?
Well, I didn't really know much about nutrition going into it, going into the competition, and I've learned a lot now from that. But it was really crazy, because, like I said, I usually stay at 150 with my weight. Right now I'm at 163 because, like I said, I've learned nutrition a lot better. so I can hold a lot more weight
Right.
easier and still feel healthier and stronger. But I went from 150 during my show. I didn't eat the cleanest to bulk, but I wasn't like a dirty bulker.
Right.
I didn't go out and just slop on, you know what I'm saying,
Double cheeseburgers.
every single day. You know, it was. I might have had a cheat meal. A cheat meal every 2 days, just like 2 burgers from a little $5 box from Hardee's. You know, I couldn't stay away. I ain't gonna lie.
David might just have one of those on the way over.
I really can't stay away from that. I couldn't. There you go. But like I went to it was 178 in about 2.5 months, and then I had to cut in 2 months all the way down to 146.
Oh wow!
Which 2 months to cut from 178 to
Right.
146.
But still a pretty good feat.
Yeah, it is. But if you have been athletic all your life, I feel like it's a safe cut.
Right.
You know, one of my friends, he likes to cut like 10 pounds in a night, 15, and I'm like, bruh, that you gotta stop that. Like,
That's not healthy at
nutrition.
all.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, do you?
Yeah. But at least in that sport, you know, a lot of the fighters do it, but you know, and then they drain their brains and everything else, and then they get in there the next time and get cracked. And
Right, that's what I'm saying.
At least there's not that part of the sport. So
Right.
To me that's still a lot, because you're not just cutting 30 pounds. You have goals. You have areas of your body that you have to work on in order to get competition ready. So I mean, to me it's a lot more, and that's the reason I was kind of like, wow. It's not just because it's difficult to cut that much weight, but you obviously have goals within that and areas that you need to hit, and probably you wanted to put mass on certain areas, and at the same time you're trying to lose weight.
Right.
I mean, that's the hardest thing that I've ever heard in bodybuilding, was always to put on lean muscle while losing fat. You know, it's kind of counterintuitive, so you have to find that happy medium.
I'll say it is hard. I feel like only because I'm the guy that I'm training through now. He's in-flight training, and his name is Randy Ragland, and he's kind of picked up being a mentor to me. This guy's amazing. He was telling me that because people's workouts aren't intense enough, is the reason why you're not getting results.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's completely.
You don't realize, like, to the point that you actually have to take it. You don't understand, like, the difference between going in and working out just to try to get a normal body versus trying to really do something transformative and compete.
Right.
I mean, it's a big jump up. I mean, I see some of even your workouts. I see your workout board, and I'm like, he's doing that how many times? And I'm like trying to figure out how many times I'm doing it, and I'm like the 3x10 or the 4x10, and you got like 4 to 6 at 25, and I'm like, whoa. So there's obviously, it's like anything else in life. There's levels to the game, and so when you're trying to do something transformative, I assume that steps up greatly. And if people don't understand that, they think if they go in and they work out the 30 to 45 minutes that they're going to get the results they want. It's a lot more than that.
Right.
Or
even the style, I'll say, people, and here's how I break it down. I'm not a one-dimensional trainer. I'm not even a three-dimensional trainer. I'm a multi-dimensional trainer. I will just say that because I don't have one solid direction that I go. If you want to play basketball, I'm not going to be putting you on a tennis court. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to train specifically
I
for what
you.
you.
Exactly.
Some people's like, oh, I want to lose weight, so they go to the gym and they lift weights. I'm like, you're done understanding that the scale reads that muscle weighs more than fat, and you know that, but you don't realize it until you see the scale and you see the numbers and you see them going up, but you don't realize that your body is slimming down. And you get psychologically frustrated by seeing the numbers go up, but your body looks better in the mirror. You don't realize it because you saw the numbers first, and that's all you're thinking about. So you get discouraged, and then you start gaining more weight by just stopping and eating, or using your comfort zone. But like, I'm that person that wants to help you get away from that. I like to put a lot of psychiatrics through my training, and like I said, Randy, he's helped me so much realize that you have to intensify a lot of things, your thoughts, You have to intensify your training. You have to intensify why you want to do it to yourself. You know, I posted this thing earlier today. It says basically you can make yourself happy. Don't worry about anybody else. No one can take your happiness. No one can make you happy. You have to stop searching for it and realize that you have to make it.
Yes.
So once again, you find what you have time for.
Right. And like you said, you know, for each goal, there's going to be a different workout regimen, different you know, types of workouts. I mean, all of it goes into that. So obviously, when you're transitioning away from competition, getting into just what you wanted to do as far as your own personal physical fitness, it sounds like to me that you kind of found home with the calisthenics, and I remember you posting the crazy videos at College Park, you know, doing all this stuff. So would you say that that's the basis of your own personal workouts? Because we've already established, you know, to each their own. Everybody has their own individual regimen. So you still try to do as a broad landscape of things for your personal workouts?
Yes.
But is it all calisthenic based?
No, not necessarily, because this last week I showed my some of my intensive leg training, and I mean, like, I don't want my legs to be super huge. I do want some size,
like you said, functional.
Yeah, but I want to stay functional, and I'm not saying because, you know, my cousin, actually, second cousin, no, third cousin. Anyway, Tyson Gay. He's one of the fastest men on the planet. Yeah. So I'm just saying he's humongous. He's fast. But I don't want to be that big.
They got those running back legs.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he look like a horse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Horse legs. You know, I mean, I love him to death, but I don't want no legs that big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I gotta, no, just not needing it.
So, like, for your own personal thing, let's just use legs as an example. You know, so you're obviously probably, if you don't want them to be big, so what's the type of just to give everybody an example, what's the type of functional workouts that you put into your own regimen? Because, and I think I remember now that I'm thinking about it, the different things that you're doing. I think you're doing like a step up at Planet Fitness the other day. Mm-hmm. So is that the type of stuff that you do? Like, what would you call them? Are they like dynamic moves? Because
yeah, I mean, they're completely dynamic.
Because for me, when I go in, I'm like, okay, leg presses, you know, calf raises, squats.
But, I mean,
I hate lunges, so I try to avoid those.
Right. You stick with just the weights, you know.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, like I said, weight training is not bad, but weight training doesn't get deep enough in the muscles to give you a foundation.
Yeah.
You know, you're still building from the middle halfway up, and then when you stop, you lose that completely and solely. I like to do a lot of body weight movements. Like I said, you know, that was.
So that'd be more like in the plow range.
Yeah, like
okay.
What do you call it? Plyometrics. Yes, and things like that, because, like, once again, I'm athletic and I want to keep my flexibility. I want to keep my muscles ready to move and not just look pretty. You know, a lot of those guys look amazing, way more amazing than me, but can do way less. You know what I'm saying? I can bench press, they can bench press. Yeah, you can bench press 450 and I can only bench press 245. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But can you do a flag? No.
Right.
Can you do a pull-up? No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand. And, you know, and once again, it all translates to everybody differently. You know, I as of last year when I turned 30, I could still dunk a basketball. And really what changed that in my own personal life, because I was having a lot of trouble, I started doing plyometrics. I had those crazy moon-looking shoes, you know what I'm talking about, with the front end?
Yeah.
And I did plyometrics, and the next summer I could dunk. And so I really feel like, you know, because we were doing the weight training wasn't working for me. It wasn't making me more explosive, any stronger. But when I started doing the plows, it changed everything. And so for me personally, I would prefer doing plows, but at the same time, I'm not necessarily building the muscle that I want in my legs, which has always been the biggest factor for me is my legs. So I kind of have to transition into doing the heavier stuff, like the leg presses and the squats and the lunges and things like that. So I think it's really important for everybody to understand that just because you see, you know, let's say Kai Green's workout, and you go into the gym and you do that, you're not getting the same results as Kai Green. That doesn't mean that your body's necessarily built like his. He's,
Right.
He's a genetic freak.
Too though, I was about to say that too. With building your legs up like you want to, it's not only about doing Kai Green's workout. It's about doing the nutrition.
Yes.
Before and after.
Yes.
You do the workout. Yes. You need the right nutrition, the right amount of nutrients, and the right nutrients at the right time.
Right.
And that's what Josh Miller had helped me with. It was amazing. This guy, I had no money. I had nothing. I just asked this guy on a whim, and he supported this whole show, and I wasn't trying to look for a hand me out or nothing, but he helped me, and I'm forever grateful for that, because that changed my life. Like I said, it made me realize that 90% of life is dietary, not just fitness, not just health, not just, it's living.
And I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing to do, because I've had 2 straight weeks of meal prepping and working out, and I'm seeing results, and one trip to Taco Bell derails it all.
Right, it does.
Derails it all. And we could probably make people's heads start spinning talking about, macros and micros and all this stuff. So, but, the most important thing is the diet, like you said, and also finding your own. You have to find your own way in the diet and in the exercises, and that's something people understand. It's a balance of those two, and I mean, it can be overwhelming, and so that's the reason that it's great that you are out there for people to go talk to kind of find that balance for them, because like you said, it's going to be different for each person, nutrition wise, workout wise, mental health wise, because that's a big factor of it. Just getting that push to get up every morning and do that and meal prep every night, or however you decide to do it in your own life. I mean, and that's why it's great to have people like you to kind of lean on and be able to bounce things off of, because pretty much everything I've ever done has been self-taught, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going out and I'm reading the Arnold Encyclopedia and I'm finding all this stuff, and it doesn't work like that. You have to find your own way. Yeah, you do. Sometimes you can find your own way by trial and error, but other times you really need to kind of lean on somebody else, like Mr. Miller was for you, somebody to reach out to help you kind of navigate that. And I mean, that's the most important thing for me, for people to understand. Like I said, you can't just wake up and read a magazine and go to the gym and make everything work. You really need the knowledge behind it and the will and everything. It's a whole package. You're not just waking up and working out. It's a whole package.
I'd even like to add in that I've had a lot of conversations with people lately, because once again, I'm a private contractor, so I have to go find my work. I tell them, I'm like, what do you do when your body is sick? I'll go to the doctor. What do you do? Who do you call when your car breaks down? I'll call my mechanic. What do you do when your body is not where you want it to be? You know what I mean? I try to shoot it straight. I'm a realist.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I don't have time.
And that's a great point.
Time is of what you make of it. I tell people all the time, I'm like, you watch TV for 3 hours a day. And they're like, no, I don't. They get offended. They're like, oh, I don't watch TV for 3 hours. I'm like, all right, what do you do in the morning? I get up and I watch TV for about an hour. And then I go to work, and then I watch TV for about an hour when I get home. And then my kid goes to practice, and then I watch TV before I go to bed. And I'm like, how many hours was that?
And then
3?
And then you and then you're like, okay, what about Facebook? And they're just like,
yeah, right. And actually, me and my fiance last night was watching a video, and we came to a realization. It was like, oh my God. She was like, I feel so much better because I don't dive into social media as much anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it's about a business though. I'm trying to run a business, so I have to be on social media. But it sucks because it sucks my mind into thinking that I have to have that next. I gotta look at the next view. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, and my body's like, go to sleep, and I'm like, but the next one I get.
You're searching through, and you're finding people that like what you like.
Right.
people
marketing, you know.
what I always say, and you know, I found this true in everything because I'm trying to branch myself out and to do something different that I'm more passionate about, because the fact of the matter is, it's just like even my own personal job, it might not be there in 5 years, and people need to realize that, and they need to make themselves more dynamic. And so the social media part of it is something I really dove into, especially with my hunting page. I've worked really hard on building it. It's almost 2,500 followers. People don't understand what it takes to build that. And, you know, you can talk about your dreams all day long on Facebook. Nobody really cares.
No.
You post a puppy or a kid, like. Just like, man, just give me something about my dreams. I'm following my dreams.
Right.
So I can completely relate to that. It literally will get inside of your mind and your soul. And it's like, I got to get up and I got to do this. And I got to find people that like what I like. And I got to like their stuff, because that way they'll like my stuff. And they might share it. And then I'm doing
that's why it's so hard to
It's like a
personally train.
disease.
Yeah, it is. It's like, you know, my wife's like, oh my God, why you like her stuff? She likes some of my stuff, so I'm trying to help.
Talk about that part.
Like, just I'm marketing myself. Like, my market is majority of women.
You just got 40 guys hemmed up.
I
With that one line.
I'm
You just got 40 guys hemmed
He
up.
is speaking the truth.
Oh, I know.
I'm being a realist, you know.
Because I've had this same conversation. Why does so and so like your stuff? And it's like, do you not understand that this is a post about like what I'm trying to do with my life, and like, and they're supportive behind it,
Right.
And I mean, I feel like it's always like, if you look at a female's picture, it's mostly dudes that like it. If you look at a male's picture, it's mostly females, and it's kind of fun. And okay, how do I branch that out for everyone?
Right.
And so it's just all part of it, and it seems to me that females latch on to supporting your cause, and they understand dreams a little bit more than, you know, puppies and kids.
Right.
So to kind of bring it back a little bit,
Sorry.
no, this is great. This is what I enjoy, and like, I can relate to everything that you're saying, so it makes it even better for me. And I think if anybody's out there that's chasing a dream on social media or whatever, they're like, I get what you're saying completely. They probably had the same conversations with their old lady, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, we transitioned away from your competition, and so how you looked at exercising, but now, did your nutrition change from that, or did you kind of keep the same nutrition regimen? Because everybody's like keto or paleo or, you know, vegan. Everybody's got their own system that they.
Well, I'll say I don't follow strict rules, but I don't eat too dirty. I stay lean. I stay exercising all the time. Yes, I do cheat all the time. I'm being dead. I'm being dead serious.
I had Taco Bell before this, man.
I mean, we just ate at the mall because she had to meet up with one of her old classmates. Anyway, she what did we have? She had Chick-fil-A. Yeah, that's what I did. I did have. That's what it was, bourbon and some spicy chicken. But anyway, you know,
That's
I mean,
not
it
too
wasn't.
bad. It
Yeah,
could've
I say it
been
wasn't the worst. But like, yeah, I do still eat my fish and chicken all the time. That's why I stay like naturally lean. But I do want my show body back. So I am going to be a lot stricter now. Actually, we're going grocery shopping tomorrow, and I'm not doing anything other than I got to sell my body. I've got to show you all that I am me. I am in my realm, and I am real.
Right.
Because, you know, all these Instagram freaks that you see, you know, I see them too, but at the same time, I want you to know these people are real. So when you see me transform from what I am to what I'm going to be, I want you to realize, hey, I can do that too.
Right.
He's from Winchester, Kentucky, just like me. Or he's from some podunk, whatever, you know, wherever you're from that you're listening to me. Just know that you are worth it. Like, that's my slogan in my company is you're worth the fight.
Yeah.
You're completely worth the fight.
And I think that's a little bit of the battle, and it's something that we talked about from the very first podcast that we did, and kind of behind the scenes, me and David have been talking for a while about having guests like you that are passionate about something, that are trying to do something to change their lives and the lives of others. Is that it doesn't take a Hollywood superstar, it doesn't take some Instagram star like you said. It could really be from anywhere, and you know, for me, it's far more personal and it's far more relatable when I see somebody that's from a small town like we are, that where we necessarily didn't have the big gyms or the nutrition or anybody to go talk to. A lot of people don't have that, and so I latch onto that a lot more. That's one of the things that I noticed first about your page, and that's the reason I asked you to be on here. You're always you always have a positive message. You're always posting your own personal workouts. You're always doing unique and crazy things like you used to do with the human flags or whatever you said.
Right.
I mean, so that makes me latch onto it a lot more than something that I feel like is more unrealistic and unattainable. And I feel like that everybody needs to realize it doesn't take a lot of money. It doesn't take some superstar that comes out of nowhere that has the support of big supplement companies and their own clothing line, all this crap. Man, anybody can do it. And,
Right.
And that's what I feel like that that I latch onto, and that the people that are watching this and see you on social media, they need to latch to. It just takes a small spark to ignite this fire and to be able to do the things that that seem like they're unrealistic right now, but
Right.
they're just right around the corner if you put time and effort and everything else into it.
That's the truth. I saw this quote the other day. It said, if you are working your 9 to 5, what did he say? What did he say?
Don't be butchering quotes on here, man.
No.
People are going to
Sorry.
be giving a hate mail.
I'm sorry. Hey, don't throw no hate at me. As a matter of fact, it's the world,
Just give a
Somebody's gonna
synopsis.
hate,
You don't have to quote it exactly, man.
It said something about if you're working your 9 to 5, or if you don't realize, that's what it is. If you don't realize your 9 to 5 is your part-time gig, then you haven't figured out life yet. And like you're talking about, you got a 9 to 5, but you also have something on the side that you're building to make bigger than your 9 to 5, and one day let it go so you can have your own.
Right.
Why struggle for someone who's on a golf course all the time?
Kill yourself.
One, on vacation all the time, like never has to work a day in his life, never lift a finger, him or his family or his family's family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so why don't you make that for your family?
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yes.
That's what he's trying to do. We're trying to make a legacy.
And to me, it's not even about necessarily about having wealth and all this stuff. It's just about finding my own way, making my own way, and I'm sure that you can relate to this too. There's a lot of really late nights. There's nights where I can't shut my mind off, and I'm up on Instagram, trying to build something, or sending David a text and waking up in the middle of the night. Hey, what if we did this in the next podcast?
Right.
There's all that stuff that goes into it, and that should be the inspiration of people, that it becomes kind of your muse, so to speak. It's what drives you, it's what pushes you, and what leads you to the next thing. And I don't want to be the guy on the golf course, man. I want to help people. I want to show people stories just like you.
Right.
I want to inspire people, and I want people to see that yes, we're Winchester, Kentucky. Yes, a lot of us didn't grow up with anything. Yes, a lot of people aren't going anywhere. Fantastic.
Right.
But at the same time, there's a lot of great things going on.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of people that are going to those places that we can't even foresee yet. You know what I'm saying? And I can see you building your fitness empire, and it's great that we're kind of at the base ground of this and seeing all of it. I mean, hopefully one day we'll be able to look back on this and be like, man, we didn't even know. Right. So yeah, as far as your personal nutrition, you said you're going to the grocery store. Everybody has different ways. Keto seems to be king right now. It's something that I've tried, but I didn't really necessarily have as much luck with. I could never find myself with enough energy. So when you go, is it like you said, is it eating clean? Is it like chicken and rice? Because a lot of people are cutting rice out, or chicken and potatoes. A lot of people.
a lot of people do this. I'm just gonna say BS. I don't want to offend anybody, but they do this BS stuff like, oh, I don't eat carbs at all, or I don't eat blah. I can understand. Vegans not want to eat meat. God said, he did live the plant-based diet. Jesus, and he ate fish, but I mean he didn't eat the deer and
Hey, easy now.
Stuff
Easy.
No. I mean,
got a fridge full of deer right now.
Like, I'm about to what do you mean? I'm about to grab some before I leave.
Absolutely, you can have as much of the hamburgers as you want. You can't have the steak, but you can have as much as the hamburgers.
But at the same time, you just gotta understand that it's not, you can't leave out certain nutrition, like certain nutrients, because the body needs them at certain moments. Like he was talking about, he wants to build his legs. So on his heavy leg day, what he needs to do is either eat carbs the day before, like a lot, or the day after, a lot of carbs, just to soak that up, build the muscle, and give it the right energy that you need to obtain for the mass that you're trying to put on. But people, like I said, they're like, oh,
I have a
salad. I'm okay. You're leaving out some nutrients.
I have a great macro
important.
plan that I never follow with all the carbs and everything that I need, but I never
Right.
follow.
But I mean, like no one hardly does,
know.
And I'm not saying you have to like be completely strict unless you are a professional athlete or
Absolutely.
something. But at the same time, if you're going toward diabetes, let's be strict for a while.
Yeah,
you know what I
let's
mean?
cut that out a little bit.
Let's just be strict for a while. Until we can get away from this red zone.
Yeah.
But like, dietary can prevent 99% of all disease.
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep making an excuse like it's hereditary.
Right.
You can change that.
I think you brought up something that's always in my mind and something that I always probably focus on a little bit too much. But you're talking about how certain people don't eat certain things. I think it's probably everybody struggled to find something that like I don't like to eat a ton of greens, so like I'll find a green supplement and I'll put that in there. So to me, when you open up a bodybuilding magazine, it's full of supplements and it gets in your mind. Do you personally partake in supplements? If so, what do you do? Do you advise your future clients to take supplements? I mean, there's supplements right there above Mike's head. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
So
I mean, well, I
something-
do like that C4. I do. I'm not much of a pre-workout person because I'm naturally built with energy. But I do take BCAAs, branched chain amino acids.
Yeah.
They are super helpful for me.
Right.
They don't. They give me energy. They don't only give me energy, but they don't give me that jittery crap that
I need. I need the juice. I gotta have the
pre-workout.
C4.
I can't.
I can't even work out anymore without it. I'm like, it's not even worth it,
I
man.
can't focus. I can't focus on that stuff.
I understand.
It's just like-
Hey, that makes sense because you said you got the little bit of the ADHD or
Right,
ADD.
yes, I already got
makes
that
sense.
in
Yeah.
me. It's
I need
ingrained.
that. I
Yeah,
need
right. it's like I'm like actually one of my.
That's the
my
only way.
last job.
That's the only way this living room got clean.
Right.
Before is taking a little C4 when I got home from work.
No water.
Yeah, I just snorted it. I just warmed it up, snorted it. Clean the table off. It's good to go. Where's Marcus? Let's go. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I watched Blow the other night.
It was more like Scarface.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a big.
You
took
took
the
the
whole-
cut card out, man.
Mike, don't out me, man. But yeah, I think supplements can be important. I think that you have to find that balance though, because Mike might remember this, but when I first started working out again, because I went through like a stage where I had been playing college. I had been playing high school ball forever, and baseball, basketball towards the end. I was just so worn out with it all, and so I took off like let's say 18 and 22. But when I got back in at 22, I had the Arnold book. I went out and bought every supplement known to man. I had Gaikic, I had Lukic, I had all of it, and I went way overboard. I mean, way overboard to the point. And I don't know if you've ever got here, but you take the supplements in the morning before you go to the gym, and I don't know if you've ever got to the point where you actually throw up because you're just so overdone. And I just way overdid it. I'm sure people could probably relate to that, and it's important to find the supplements that not only work but work for you. But like I said, I'm not a huge greens guy. I'm getting better with it, but so I find the greens that work for me, and I take them and I implement them.
Right.
And I think you have to do it. You implement the branched chain amino acids. I have to have the
those-
C4. I can't work with them.
Well, I do those. I do whey isolate, and then I do some casein sometimes, or casein.
Casein,
I call it
it's
casein.
like the slower protein. It's
Right, and
it's
so
like
when you
better
take
for
it at night,
nighttime.
right, and you sleep on it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it takes a lot of me to build muscle without the proper nutrition and proper supplementation.
How many calories do you think you have to have? I always tell people, for me to gain a pound in a week, I have to eat 6,000 calories a day. And people don't believe me, but it's true.
I'm almost there, like 4,500.
Yeah, and that's another struggle. That's another struggle, man. For
Like
me
the cost
personally.
of that.
Not only the cost, but like you start thinking, how many times do I have to eat clean to do that?
Yes.
I have to eat 8 times clean a day, and I can't do that. I
But
mean,
see, that's
so
the
then
beauty.
I'm like, okay, burger.
Well, that's the beauty of it too. You know, I like to tell people, I'm like, you need to eat 8 meals a day, and they're like, oh. Well, guess what? I'm telling you that you can make your own metabolism.
right.
Like you can create your own metabolism
For sure.
Like, and
It makes a big difference.
it-
You're
it
firing
really
all
does.
the time. You're burning all that stuff up. It doesn't
Right.
ever stop.
So yeah, you're
You
never
keep your body in
plateauing.
like a thermogenic and what's the other word for it? Anabolic. Anabolic state.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was
all
trying
the
to. Bro,
It's processing all the time, and it makes a big difference. And that's been the biggest key for me is eating smaller meals. But then I get back to the point where how do I do that? So what I do is I kind of bookend it by having a big calorie shake at the beginning of my day and at the end of the day, and then I have the small meals.
right,
And I
that-
think that's key to everybody. They have to find their own.
Yeah, they're balanced, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't want you to necessarily think that 3 meals a day is good. It's not, actually. It's actually terrible. And
You end
a
up
meal
eating
could
too
be,
much.
like when I worked at my last job, I used a meal, an apple as a meal. Literally 2 times a day I would use one single apple as a meal. And it would hold me for 2 or 3
I can
hours.
just,
you know?
I can't see Mike out of the corner of my eye, but I bet he just went, like, that's a meal. I was like that, bro. When he said an apple, I was like, dang, man, that's a snack. That's not a meal.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a snack,
Yeah.
but it's a meal.
And it also
Like,
provides
it's
a little
a-
bit of sweetness for you to kind of hold you over from eating candy bars and junk like that. So,
Right, you're not going to be focused on what you said, junk,
Yeah.
processed food that's not going to digest. You know, like it takes processed food 7 days to digest, but when you eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, it never processes. You know,
Right.
your body can't process that.
Right.
So, I'm just saying, like.
Well, I'm being dead serious too.
I want to help.
So-
you know what I mean? I want to help. So,
So-
that's why I'm telling these people,
we gonna talk?
everybody. you know?
Before we kind of work into your personal training, just is an interesting exercise. So I take the big shake in the morning. I actually mix it with milk to get a little bit more calories and protein, and then I do like a strawberry, blueberry mix with some still cut oats, and then I do like a salad mainly with like a 50-50 mix, and then like some broccoli, and then for lunch I'll do like chicken and rice. And then that's where I kind of hit a little bit of a wall or a gap, and I try to fill it in with like I like grapefruit.
I love grapefruit.
I like grapefruit and I like apples, and try to do that. And then I try to have a bigger meal that's usually like a steak or I'll have a ton of deer meat, so deer meat and rice or deer meat steak and rice, and then I try to bookend it with another shake. But that's a hard goal for me, man.
Right.
To try to get there all the way up there. So, but does that sound like a good meal plan for me? You know, let's just play personal trainer on the fly here.
All right. All right.
On the spot.
To the people out there, I'm not a nutritionist. I just want you to know, but I do have knowledge,
Right.
some knowledge of nutrition. So I don't want y'all nutritionists out there like blasting me like, oh well.
We have-
Guess what? You got
Hey,
a degree,
we
but
actually-
I still do know.
You know,
some things.
I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. We would like the hateful comments. We haven't got a hateful comment since like
Oh, it's cool.
podcast
We
3.
need.
No, I'm not saying don't.
Just
I mean, like,
talk down
be,
to
Not
it.
on camera now.
be American. You know, you got an opinion.
You have to have a knowledge of nutrition and for the goals and
Right.
that you have. So
Well, I'll say for you, and I'm like,
probably need to boost it up a
if
little bit. Don't
if you want to make yourself a little bigger, I think you need to wake up. I think I for real think you should do something heavy in the mornings, like
so
you know
even
what I'm saying, for
heavier
your
than
leg.
like a weight gainer shake. Because that's what I'm taking right now. Is a
Like-
weight gainer shake.
Eggs, protein. You need and you
So
need to-
solid
as
food.
a whole eggs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely
definitely
whole
shake,
eggs.
drink the shake, but definitely eat the whole egg
With
like,
that- with the
2
shake.
Yeah, 2 to
Dang.
3 whole eggs.
Dang.
You know what I mean? Like, and then your salad, or if you want the salad, I
Yeah.
don't think you'll want it after the eggs.
I watch
toast.
like The Rock or somebody. You watch their diet throughout the day, and you're like, oh God, he ate what? And then I'm
Yeah.
like trying to think about it. It's like God, just to put on like 5 pounds for me, it's mind numbing.
It's not as bad as, like I said, you think it is, and
It's pretty rough.
Once it's change.
Yeah. That's true.
It's what America's afraid of.
Yeah, I'm afraid of it.
Anybody's afraid. I'm afraid of certain change. Like this, I can't implement to you all enough how you have to. Like, all right,
Get up on your
poor
soapbox.
people.
Here, let me-
Look, poor people talk about rich people. Okay, and if you don't believe me, when was the last conversation? Tell me what the last conversation you had with your best friend was. It was talking about somebody rich did something with their money that did something, or something about Donald Trump that did something. The dude had money. All right, look, rich people don't talk about us. They don't talk about poor people. What they do is they talk about ideas of making themselves better, helping the next rich dude to make him some money too. So it's like a trade, you know. So I'm trying to break my mentality of being poor, thinking poor, and getting to that mindset. And I'm not saying that necessarily I want to be the richest man in the world. This is
Right.
not about wealth. This is just about me building an empire for my next 3 generations once again. And not only an empire, a solid empire, a foundation under my empire.
So that's a great segue into talking about what you're doing with your personal training. Like you said, you're not certified yet, but you're working towards that. But in the meantime, what are you doing to try to move into that, full personal trainer, or life coach, as you put it?
Right.
So what are you doing to get there? And are you taking clients now? I mean,
Yes, I am definitely taking clients now. I'm actually going to post tonight after I do this podcast, and I've been like really nervous about it. Trying to say that I'm going to post, and I've got a couple clients right now, 3, but I'm holding out on the pictures, holding out on a couple things just because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable.
Right.
We already talked about this, so yes, I'm taking clients. You can DM me at Functional Foundation Fitness through Facebook, via Instagram, and or just go to my name on Facebook, Marcus Higgins. Like I said, I want to help the world, and let's definitely just try to get to that point.
So where are you doing this out of now? Because you said you got a spot to do it. And
Yeah, I have a facility in Lexington. It's right off of Nicholasville Road. And I do want to say, a lot of people are like, oh, that turns them off with that sound because everybody's traveling on Nicholasville Road. Honestly, I was late to the podcast because of Nicholasville Road.
Yeah.
It took me 45 minutes to get out of the food court just to the other side of Nicholasville Road. Literally sat through a light 16 times and was very upset because I have road rage. Sorry.
Patience.
Just being honest.
Mike.
Yes.
Show yours.
But then if
Patience.
you're stuck in that traffic, they can listen to the podcast.
There you go. So,
Hey.
see,
You gotta
Yeah,
think of
so-
positive
or
things.
watch Marcus's
I'm getting
videos
rich
on
now.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is why David makes the big bucks.
Yes,
on the
I'm-
podcast. I'm not really technically paying him yet, but one day,
Thank you, David. You did
Yeah.
lighten that moment. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys. It was just my truth coming out. I don't want to lie to you. I'm a human, I think. But yeah, so once you come to me and we get ready to start, I will give you this route that got me there in 26 minutes in traffic. So it's not going to have to take you 45 minutes to
Right.
get where I am. And not only that, we give you the ability to, one, become more athletic, healthy. You can, if you come before work or right after work, or whatever the case, you can take a shower in this facility. And it's a home facility, so you're not going to have a bunch of people staring at you. And it's very personal. I'm taking either singles or doubles or a duo or a couple. You don't have to be a couple, but if you're like a couple buddies that play basketball together and you want to further your training, your skill set, then let's do that. Just DM me. We'll talk about prices and times and all that. So
Sweet. And what do you see in the future for Functional Foundation Fitness? What are your I mean, you said that you want to take care of 3 generations, so does that entail perhaps getting your own gym? I mean, what are you going to do? How do you foresee following through that, or is it still unclear? Or are you just going to kind of
yeah, it's not unclear, but things might change.
Right, for sure. You have to be adaptive.
Right. I do want to, like you said, adapt. I have a website coming out soon. It's going to be Functional Foundation Fitness, but it's coming out when I'll say in the next couple months. But I do want a facility. Actually, I want a lot of facilities. I want a lot of small facilities because I don't want a bunch of overhead.
Right.
I don't. That's just, like I said, I'm a personal type person, and once I get on the internet, I'm gonna have video chat, live Skype, and stuff like that, so I can help anybody. Because that's the way the times are moving.
See, I can, because I've always, I got one friend. He's always like, "You need a website. You need a website." It's like, man, in this day and age with Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and everything, do you really need a website? But I can understand completely from your perspective why you need that to make it more interactive, to where you don't actually technically have to be there. You can do consultations with clients as far as what they're doing, what they're eating, all that stuff. But to me, I think it would be fantastic. You just drive through Winchester, man, and there's just so many empty buildings. It would be great to see, your personal training gym right there in any one of those, shopping malls. To have a local guy there, and that could be the springboard for multiple small businesses. I mean, I feel like there's lots of opportunity for it, and to really expand and to bring in a clientele and to be more than just, like you said, a personal trainer, and be really a life coach for these people and kind of to build them, mentally, physically, all of the above. I mean, I feel like it's a great business plan for sure. So Well, Captain Dave, do you have anything else to add or questions to ask or anything like that?
Well, I don't have any questions. I mean, if you all want to jump into some different subjects or something, maybe talk a little bit about, we talked about the XFL and all that. I mean, coming back out.
I feel like it's
Is
the
that
time.
the football league?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you didn't know?
The arena?
No. It's the one that Vince McMahon ran. It was like the "He Hate Me" on the back of the jersey.
Yeah, that was
ones
arena ball, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was like where they can.
No.
Like, it was kind of like NFL Blitz or something,
They had like the cameras in the cheerleader locker rooms, and it's like
What?
Yeah, and they're the ones that like piloted the above head cameras, and then they had like
the NFL took that part. Yeah,
they had the mic'd up. They did the mic'd up first.
It's crazy. My I don't know. I wish I knew who it was. I wouldn't blast him on the line. But one of my friends. No. One of my friends.
We need an animosity.
Grandpa.
Oh, God.
Actually,
Don't ask anybody's grandpa.
No, one of my friends. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But no, he actually made the whole skyline
Oh, that's
thing
cool.
for the football fields,
Yeah,
and he was the one who invented
Sweet.
the whole.
Hopefully he's
Man,
he's
man,
really
like
rich.
Scrooge
McDuck.
Bruh. No, it's pretty cool. Though.
Well, Dave brings up a good point. It's that time of year. It's the Super Bowl time. So I don't know if you
Yes.
followed it, but do you have any picks?
I'm a Pats fan. So what? Say,
I'm a
the
Pats
hate
fan.
mail's coming. The hate mail's coming. I already see it right now. I already see it right now. It's coming.
I've already.
No, everybody's like, cause like my friend, he came over the other day and he was drunk and he was like, I'm just gonna say he was.
I'm not gonna blast anybody out.
Yeah, but look, he was drunk, and I'm not saying no names. He was arguing with his, wifey or whatever. So he wanted to come over. I was like, all right, whatever. You can pour your problems on me. Go ahead. So he started, and he left his hat actually, and it's a Chiefs hat, Kansas City Chiefs. I've never liked this team ever. Like even when I was a kid, because I was a sore loser, I used to jump on bandwagons. I used to be a Cowboys fan when Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman,
Everybody was a Cowboys fan back then.
Deion Sanders. I had
Irvin.
Michael Irvin. Oh my God, I had that was a team, and they won, so I liked them. But then the Patriots won, and they changed their logo to something really cool when I was a little kid, and I stuck with it, and they've been my team ever since. But anyway, my friend left his Chiefs hat. Like, I went, was it New Year's Eve? I went to the Manchester City Hall with my brother and Sunday Best, and they was all, it was a super huge concert, and I had the Chiefs hat on. This dude was like, hey, what about blah 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 blah, y'all traded him, and I'm like, I don't know what his name, I don't know who that is, So he's like, the dude, and I'm like, the dude. He's like, your hat, and I'm like, oh, I was like, my bad. I was like, I'm a Pats fan, dude. Bruh. he turned around so quick. Like I was like, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying?
If we were gonna get hate mail with the Patriots, it'd been a long time ago because I've said that I always use the catchphrase: "There's certainties in life, death, taxes, and the Patriots win." All the time, we still haven't got any hate mail. I'm trying to hang it above them, but I can't even.
It'll
do that.
be inside hate mail for me.
You'd be like Kevin Durant making up fake accounts.
Yeah.
So obviously your pick is the Patriots in the Super Bowl then.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's a good matchup though.
Even if we're not there, my pick is.
I think it's a tough matchup. I am a little bit nervous, especially because my boy Gross is an Eagles fan and he's having a Super Bowl party. And I don't know if we can coexist. It might turn into.
No, it's cool. Cause like last
you
year.
You never met Gross, have you?
No. Hey man, like it was like last year. Me and my brother Brett were the only ones in the house that was silent for the first half. Everybody was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, guys, I didn't hear no fat lady sing yet.
My dad left. He came because it's always my birthday weekend. My dad came. He left he's like, son, it's over with. And I said, Dad, it's not over with. You need to turn your TV on as soon as you go home.
Then he made me stay the whole
I made you.
game.
David was lucky.
I was like, I gotta
lucky.
work in the morning.
I was like,
He's
David,
"Oh."
You saw history is what you saw.
Dude,
You saw a dude break freaking records. What did he break? 10 in that game? Or some dumb crap?
He saw me act like a fool. I mean, it's amazing he's friends with me still. My head was hitting the ceiling. I was like having little seizures, locking up. It was crazy.
I don't think anybody, and like I'm a diehard UK fan only from birth. Like I'm not saying I don't like Louisville. I love watching basketball. If that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
But like,
you can't root for him.
No. I can root for Louisville. Hey, because half my family is Louisville and half my family is UK.
I think it's okay to
me
root.
Personally. I don't hate Louisville. There's a lot of we might get some hate mail on this one.
No, I'm glad. I think
this is why people hate Louisville. It's because in Kentucky it's a predominantly black school. To be completely honest, I'm just saying, let's be realistic.
Well, I was actually gonna say that I think it's okay to root for Louisville because I think it's great to show Kentucky pride and people act like, hey, just because Louisville's red and we're blue and we can't do any of that. We can't root for Western. We can't root for Eastern.
Right.
And I mean, I think that plays into it. So when I'm not a UK fan either.
Western and Louisville, because Louisville's an actual.
Oh, here we go.
The biggest rival of Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, not
really.
We don't really play the same conference.
Tennessee is technically.
There's no way Tennessee is a bigger rivalry than Louisville.
Go to Tennessee as a UK fan, you'll see the difference. Because Louisville fans accept that we hate them.
Yeah,
like that. I don't hate them though.
School and they play Kentucky, that they're all gonna hate Kentucky, but it's even the Louisville thing. It's even bigger.
Well.
But they're not
arguable.
They're not even in the same conference, though. That's what doesn't make sense to me. Like I understand that they're another SEC team, but
I mean they try to make it a battle for the state.
But I know people from Louisville that are UK fans. It's like, man,
But see though the difference between UK and like a lot of other teams is they said I think 2 years ago or something. I was watching some ESPN facts crap. It was like UK has more fans in every single state than any other team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm sort of like, God,
they're like the Dallas Cowboys of.
Right.
But yeah, that's interesting. I never really thought about race playing into it.
No, I mean I'm being realistic because of what I see and what I hear. How I've talked to many thousands of people and it's not about race. But a lot of people make it about it for some odd reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bruh, I like them because they're a team in Kentucky.
Right.
I like Kentucky as a state. I like my teams. Yes, I'm a bigger UK fan, but I like Eastern, Western, Moorhead, you know what I'm saying? Like any school that comes up from Kentucky, I'm down with.
Yeah, that's a weird mindset because if UK plays Louisville in the tournament.
Oh,
like,
I'm not
it's like,
playing. I'm not voting for Louisville
I know, I
at that
understand what you're
point.
saying, but like everybody's like, oh no, death to Louisville. But then if they play Moorhead, they're like, oh, those guys, they made it up to the tournament. We're gonna bash their brains in. So I get a little bit. I get a little bit. But I think we should just all get along and root for Louisville. I mean, I don't understand
Right.
the hate. And
I don't.
Oh, I do, 100%.
well, yeah, because you're a diehard UK fan.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like in 2 years, I can't.
But that rivalry is going to die down because Patino's gone, obviously. And
I don't know.
yeah.
I think that
They could get Billy
it's
Donovan
very
or
unfortunate
something.
that the way that all of that transpired for the
Yeah.
whole state, in my opinion.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of potential in Louisville, and I think it would be interesting to see, like, a couple of years ago, the Pelicans were on the cusp of coming up to Louisville. I think it was the Pelicans, right? Or was it the Kings?
I
Some-
think
it was-
both
it was-
of them, maybe.
Yeah,
different
both of them.
times.
But, like, that would be interesting to see how it transformed our state, and if everybody would hate on Louisville so bad if we had a, professional.
No,
That's
yeah,
you're talking about the city versus the school, the institution.
Right,
I
but
think they
you
go
know,
hand in hand.
I feel like
I
they
think
would
the
have.
NBA would call it the Kentucky team. They wouldn't call it the Louisville team or whatever. I think they'd just call it like they did the Colonels.
But I think
Right.
it goes hand in hand, because if you
And
come up and you're
Bucks.
like, oh, and you come to Lexington, you're like, I'm from Louisville, and like, they're gonna automatically think of the Cardinals. They're not gonna think of the city of Louisville. Am I wrong?
No, for college, I think
great.
for college, I don't think of the city because, like you said, there's more
Okay.
Kentucky fans in Louisville than Louisville fans in Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jerry's from Louisville, and he's a
Yeah,
diehard
yeah.
UK fan. So I mean, it's interesting to see the way that all that works. But maybe we'll get an XFL team and we'll all unite.
Yeah,
I just-
hopefully
Maybe
it'll
now
be
you
I mean-
understand my college football team.
I
Might
hope,
try
but
it
at the
for
same
it.
time,
Ohio
like
State
I
sucks,
feel like
man.
that you can't make so much money off of everything that
They
they're
touch.
not going to let something in like that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know.
Well, that's
I
what
don't
happened
know.
with that's what happened with the basketball situation.
Exactly.
But with
Patino-
football,
No, Charlotte. That was who Charlotte
Yeah,
Bobcats.
Patino and Jared.
Who was gonna come or something.
You
I
know,
think
the
there
main
was
guys at
multiple
Louisville
teams.
didn't
But,
want
okay,
to
I didn't
go
even
to the
know.
Yum Center.
Heck yeah. Yeah, they was like
at one point in time, I know they were talking about DeMarcus Cousins coming to the Yum Center to play, and I'm pretty sure that's when he was on the Kings before he was even on the Pelicans. But that's why I said Pelicans first.
But Sacramento was going to leave, and the Sacramento was like exploring where to go, but then they rebuilt everything there. So
It'd be interesting to see if the dynamic changed, and
I mean, that'd be cool to have a freaking
Oh, it'd be
professional
awesome.
team here, man.
we don't have anything.
I know we don't.
People
we
like-
just have UK that sends people to professional teams.
you know, you have the Reds and Bengals.
Yeah, like I said, we don't have anything.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. They're not even our state. What do you mean?
Um,
Come on.
It's
know-
closer than Louisville. I mean, Louisville pretty much
It's like
should be just Indiana.
Just think of the smorgasbord of fans that you have. Like, they're both Browns fans, so they're weird, and we're both Pats fans, and I've got friends that are
I grew up
Saints
in
fans.
Cleveland.
I don't know how y'all do
I
that.
grew up in Cleveland, man. It's ingrained in my DNA.
I try to talk them out of it so many times.
Oh my
It's
God.
ridiculous. Well, we need to be wrapping up. Mike, do you have anything else to add? You're outside.
Negative.
Okay.
You want to talk about Jim Tomei? You just talking about Cleveland?
Well, we can hit that up in the next podcast.
Yeah.
That's going to be sports
Yeah,
heavy.
pass it up.
Yeah.
Sports heavy.
Jim Tomei. I'm sorry.
Play for the Indians.
Oh,
He's,
sorry,
he
guys.
just got put into the
One of the
Hall of
greatest
Fame.
first basemen of all time.
For sure.
Sweet. Oh, baseball.
Yeah.
I was lost. I was like, where is this guy from? Where does he play? Yeah.
Just go ahead and plug, your pages again. That way, people,
All right.
Instagram page.
Yeah, it's like once again, you can get on me at Facebook, Marcus Higgins, or my page. I'd really like you to go to my page just to see.
Do you have a page
check
on
it out.
Facebook too?
Yeah, Facebook
Sweet.
page called Functional Foundation Fitness, and it is at Functional Foundation Fitness on Instagram. But I think I'm gonna shorten it up. I don't know. I've been in the process of, like I said, making a website, so it'll be coming soon, so you can get to it easier. And
Yeah, and if they go and like it, it doesn't matter what you change the name to because they're already gonna be locked in.
Right.
Just out of interest between me and you, when you post something on your Instagram page, do you automatically share it to your Facebook page too?
No, I don't automatically do that because I don't want people following my Marcus Higgins. I want people following my page. So
you can
I'll try
link
to.
them together. You can link your
I've-
Facebook.
I've tried that so many times, like, and
I'll
it only
help you.
sends it to my
I'll help you.
page, like my profile. And
Okay,
I'm
I'll
like,
help
no,
you
no.
after we get off here, and I'll show you how to do that because that's key. And something else you can do with Facebook that you can't do with Instagram. You can share more than a minute on
Right,
video.
videos, yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's annoying. You have to break it in parts and stuff like that. So you can actually, even if you want to share it on Instagram, you can share the full video on Facebook. So that's pretty helpful.
That's a bet.
So I really appreciate you being on, man. I feel like it was a great podcast. I feel like me and you have a lot of the same goals. So it's really awesome to see somebody else in the same position as I am, laying up in the middle of the night with Instagram and all that fun stuff as well. So, it'd be great if you guys would follow our podcast as well at Double Axis Podcast on either Facebook or Instagram, and I share them both. And it's really easy, man, to be able to share all that at once. So if everybody could go like that, check out our YouTube page, Double Axis Podcast. We appreciate the likes and the subscribes there. And you got anything else, man?
Other than the website, and I'm going to come out with another YouTube page. I'm sorry, I forgot about
You got
that.
a YouTube page too? Sweet. You already have one?
Just have one. It's Marcus Higgins. I haven't done really much on it.
You need to get on that, man.
I know. I was about to start doing my daughter, you know what I'm saying, training extensively, and then she started getting too strong and beating up little kids. Just being honest, being dead serious.
Like, take you.
Hey,
So you gotta slow down.
I understand,
Right,
man.
young grasshopper whoop master.
We don't need no more baby Tarzans.
All right,
Every time,
really.
If you teach them, I'm working on. I feel like it's very important for a young lady to learn how to defend herself. So
Yes.
I started working on my children not only boxing but jiu-jitsu too. And I can't remember who walked in the other night, and my little one goes, "Hey, you want to see my guard?" And like she's like grabbing her sister and jerking her. I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Guys, no, none without Dad. It's only in Dad, you know."
Right.
So, but yeah, I get that too. But
You
you need
need
to.
this arm bar.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
I try to teach my
We're
daughter
not there
how to do
yet. We're
arm
just
bar.
strictly defensive.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
but you need to get on that YouTube page. The only thing I can tell you is, man, be prepared for some long upload times because like this podcast, I don't know how long we're running right now, but times it by 3. So.
Right.
But I really appreciate you being on.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to Mike. Thanks to David, and we'll see you guys next time.